Namaste, Jai Hind, and welcome to this edition of The Right Stand. Ladies and gentlemen, we're breaking format to go straight across to a reporter who's decided that he's not going to work with an international network because they refuse to call the Hamas a terrorist outfit. Noah Abrahams joins us live, going straight across to him. Noah, namaste. My name is Anand. You've taken a very strong step. Tell us the reasons behind this.
Well, the BBC using the words freedom fighter and militants, I believe, are misleading and senseless. This is our national broadcaster, and there is one way and one way only to refer to Hamas, and that is that they are terrorists. Our Prime Minister has said this morning in the papers it is incompetent that the BBC change their stance. Their stance, in my view, is outdated and makes no sense. And I believe, and my morals tell me, that I can no longer work for or represent the BBC.
Do you find support for your step that you've taken, Noah?
There has been a lot of support because people understand, because people have their eyes open, and because people are using their common sense and are seeing what is happening to the Jewish community in England, in Israel, and across the world. People have supported me because people have listened. Now it's the BBC's turn to listen and to change their stance.
But Noah, if the UK Prime Minister Rishi Sunak calls the Hamas terrorists, the attack's a terrorist attack, the UK says that it stands in solidarity with Israel, what's the position taken by the British Broadcasting Corporation? Why is it variant to the British government's?
Well, the BBC will say that they are impartial, despite the defence secretary in this country saying that it is against the law to support Hamas, and that is not what the BBC are doing. They are not supporting Hamas, but by refusing to call them terrorists, it's really muddy and murky water, and it's upsetting a lot of Jewish people. And you can say that by not using the word terrorist, it is in itself violating impartiality, and this is not a visceral issue. This is very serious. It's as serious as it gets because words have impact.
What next, Noah? Did you raise this concern when you raised this concern with the BBC and you said you're stepping down? How did they react?
They haven't replied to me formally. I've had a lot of colleagues reach out to me off the record and show their support and lend their support and show their appreciation. But most people have stayed quite quiet among the BBC, and it's the general population that have come to my support and not the BBC. The BBC have failed to comment.
Are there other members from the Jewish community, British Jewish community, part of the BBC? Are they willing to stand up for you?
Yes, I've had a lot of private phone calls from Jewish members inside the BBC, and I won't mention names, but people in very senior positions at the BBC have called me to say that they stand with me and that they support my decision. People want change at the BBC, but those at the top, Tim Davie, who is the Director General, and refuse to change their stance. And I would urge them to, because the Jewish community wants them to, as does everyone else.
Well, but we have seen on the streets of the United Kingdom a lot of chants against Jews, the Jewish community, a lot of fundamentalist Islamist chants. Is your family okay with your decision? Are your family members safe? Is the Jewish community largely safe in the UK?
No Jew, I would say, is safe in the UK at the moment. Our high streets have been vandalised and attacked. Our people have been attacked. People who have been targeted for wearing jewellery with Jewish symbols. People who are going to Jewish schools. The Jewish scroll boxes that are called mezuzahs are being ripped off of doors. The UK government and Prime Minister Rishi Sunak has now approved an extra £3 million to be spent on Jewish security. So listen, anything that happens in Israel has a direct effect on the Jewish community in Britain, and that's whether we like it or not. As for me, I take the risks. I know that speaking out like this has its risks. Thankfully, my family are okay, but there are hundreds of families, thousands of families who are not.
Do they support your decision, Noah? Does your family support your decision, or are they asking you to reconsider it?
No, my family support my decision. They support my moral stance, and they are with me 100%, which has been massively helpful when doing something as lonely as this. I'm on my own. I'm, as far as I know, the only Jewish journalist to leave their role at the BBC, and so it's a lonely place. But to have my family's support has been amazing.
But you have taken the right stand. Let me ask you, and I'm curious, is there any newscaster in the UK who's actually calling the Hamas the terrorists they are?
Yes, there are. Yes, there are newscasters in the UK. I can name a few: Talk TV, Talk Sport, Talk Radio, and News UK, and all of the broadcasters that fall under that umbrella have taken the stance alongside many newspapers and other publications. The BBC are the most influential, the most well-known broadcaster and media corporation on the planet. Yet they refuse to change their stance.
Quite surprising, and a lot of the BBC's international funding comes as part of the MEA, or the Ministry of External Affairs of the British government, and the British government itself. Do you think they should take cognizance and then send some instructions? Do you think some steps should be now taken to try and get the BBC to change its stance, or do you see no interference happening there? My final question, Noah.
Well, I think it will be difficult for the government to instruct. They can advise 7 former culture secretaries, and that's 7, say that the BBC's refusal to call Hamas terrorists, which is what they are, risks blurring BBC impartiality. I will leave you with this quote, and the task of a leader is to get his people from where they are to where they have not been. Now that is what the Director General of the BBC, Tim Davie, must now do.
Noah Abrahams, you've taken a very bold step, and you have taken the right stand, standing in solidarity with the people of Israel and rightly calling a terrorist outfit a terrorist outfit. Thank you very, very much for speaking with us, Noah.
Thank you.